Neil Diamond's journey from a modest Brooklyn upbringing to becoming one of the world's best-selling artists is nothing short of remarkable. His songwriting talent was so extraordinary that countless musicians from various genres sought him out to write for them. With timeless hits covered by artists around the world, Diamond's legacy as a master songwriter is undeniable. Yet, behind the fame and success, he endured numerous struggles, challenges that at one point drove him away from the spotlight entirely. Born on January the 24th, 1941, in working-class Brooklyn, New York, Neil Leslie Diamond came from humble beginnings. He was raised in a Jewish family, but his heritage was a blend of Polish and Russian roots. His father's parents were from Poland and his mother's from Russia. He even led horseback rides through Prospect Park, joking that it was the closest thing to the Wild West he could find in New York. Back home, Diamond attended Erasmus Hall High School, where he joined the freshman chorus club. Among his classmates were future actress Barbra Streisand and chess prodigy Bobby Fischer. "Barbara and I were just two poor kids in Brooklyn," he recalled. "We'd hang out in front of school and smoke cigarettes." After the family moved to Brighton Beach, Neil transferred to Abraham Lincoln High School. There, he joined the fencing team alongside his best friend, Herb Cohen, who would later become an Olympic fencer. At 16, Neil received his first guitar, a gift that would change his life. During summers, he attended Surprise Lake Camp in upstate New York. One day, while watching legendary folk singer Pete Seeger perform, Neil was struck by the realization that he, too, could write songs. "When I got back to Brooklyn, I got a guitar and almost immediately began writing songs," he remembered. Songwriting quickly became his outlet for teenage frustrations, and his talent for crafting heartfelt lyrics made him popular among classmates. He often wrote love poems for them, and soon other boys started paying him to write on their behalf. After graduating from Abraham Lincoln High School in 1958, Neil spent the summer working as a waiter in the Catskills, where he met Jay Posner, the woman he would later marry. Though initially planning to attend medical school, Neil accepted a fencing scholarship to New York University, majoring in pre-medicine. Once again, his friend Herb Cohen joined him on the fencing team, and together they helped NYU win the 1960 NCAA Men's Fencing Championship. But while Diamond was excelling in fencing, academics took a back seat. He found himself skipping classes to visit Tin Pan Alley, hoping to sell his songs to music publishers. His persistence paid off when Sunbeam Music Company offered him a 16-week songwriting job at $50 a week. With just 10 credits left before graduation, Neil made a bold decision. He dropped out of college to chase his musical dreams. "I didn't choose songwriting," he later said. "It just took over my life." After his short stint at Sunbeam, Neil wasn't rehired. Undeterred, he began working out of New York's legendary Brill Building, where he started recording demos of his own songs. Teaming up with a friend's brother, Jack Packer, the two formed a duo called Neil and Jack. They signed with Allied Entertainment Corporation of America and released two singles, "You Are My Love at Last" and "I'm Afraid," in 1960 and 1961. Unfortunately, both failed commercially, and the partnership dissolved when Packer enrolled at the Manhattan School of Music. Neil pressed on, performing solo and continuing to write. His persistence began to pay off when songs like "Solitary Man" and "Kentucky Woman" gained attention. Around that same period, he briefly worked again with Sunbeam Music, and later with Roosevelt Music. One of his earliest professional successes came when he co-wrote 10 Lonely Guys under the pseudonym Mark Lewis. The song, recorded by Pat Boone, reached number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100 in October 1962, marking Diamond's first appearance on the charts. In 1962, Neil Diamond's song "Santa Santa" was recorded by the Rockefellers and released by Scepter Records. Around this time, he made a major career shift, deciding not just to write songs, but to perform them himself. By early 1963, Diamond had signed a contract with Columbia Records to release singles. On his 22nd birthday, January 24th, he held his first solo recording session, followed by another 3 months later. The result was his debut single. Unfortunately, the record didn't perform well commercially, and Columbia soon dropped him. In early 1965, British singer Cliff Richard recorded Neil's song, Just Another Guy. It appeared as the B-side to Richard's chart-topping hit, The Minute You're Gone, giving Diamond more exposure in the UK. That same year, he met the successful songwriting duo Jeff Barry and Ellie Greenwich. They saw potential in him and helped secure a short-term contract with Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller's Trio Music Publishing Company. During his time there, one of Leiber and Stoller's acts, Jay and the Americans, recorded Sunday and Me, a song Neil had written. Released in the fall of 1965, it reached number 18 on the Billboard charts that December, marking Diamond's first true hit as a songwriter. Encouraged by this success, Neil signed with Barry and Greenwich's new label, Bang Records, a subsidiary of Atlantic Records. His contract with Web4 Music was finalized on January 6, 1966, and that April, Bang released his first single, Solitary Man. It reached number 55 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming his first solo chart entry. A few months later, he released Cherry Cherry, which climbed to number 6 in October, establishing him as a rising star. In 1967, Cliff Richard once again recorded one of Diamond's songs, I'll Come Running, which became a top 40 hit. That same year, Don Kirshner, a prominent music publisher, loved Cherry Cherry and asked Neil to write something for the Monkees. Diamond delivered I'm a Believer, which became a massive success. By November, the song had reached number 1, giving him his 6th consecutive top 40 hit. Neil went on to write several more songs for the Monkees, including A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You, Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow, and Love to Love. During this period, he began performing alongside major bands such as Herman's Hermits and The Who, gaining valuable stage experience. However, by the late 1960s, as pop music evolved, Diamond's relationship with his label grew strained. He was tired of producing formulaic pop hits and wanted to create deeper, more meaningful music. For his 6th Bang single, he wanted to release Shiloh, a reflective ballad about an imaginary childhood friend, but the label refused, choosing instead to bury it on an album. Adding to his frustration, Neil felt he was being underpaid in royalties. Believing a loophole in his contract would allow him to leave, he signed with a new company, but that decision triggered a series of lawsuits from his former label. Fortunately, a judge denied the label's request for an injunction, allowing Neil to sign with Uni Records, part of MCA, in 1968. The legal battle continued for years, but finally ended in February 1977, when Diamond won full rights to his master recordings. The legal turmoil coincided with a temporary dip in his career. His early releases under Uni Records, including Brooklyn Roads, Two-Bit Manchild, and Sunday Sun, failed to make the top 40. Even his 1968 album Velvet Gloves and Spit struggled to chart. During this time, Neil's personal life also changed dramatically. He married his high school sweetheart, Jay Posner, but the marriage fell apart in 1967. Soon after, Neil began a relationship with Marcia Murphy, who moved to California with him. They married in 1969, just a month after his divorce. Professionally, Diamond was determined to revive his career. In early 1969, he began recording at the legendary American Sound Studio in Memphis, with producers Tommy Cogbill and Chips Moman, embracing a gospel and country rock style. The result was Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show. By 1970, Diamond's career resurgence was in full swing. His live album Gold, recorded in March at the Troubadour in Los Angeles, reached number 10 on the charts that September. Cracklin' Rosie, a single from this era, previewed his 1970 album Taproot Manuscript, which reached number 13. The following year, he released one of his most personal songs, one that captured the spirit of the time, earning him his first Grammy nomination and another major hit, reaching number 4 on the charts. Several of his albums from this era quickly went gold, and his 1972 album Moods became a huge success. His stardom reached new heights when he performed 7 sold-out concerts at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. Critics hailed the performances as some of the best ever held at the iconic venue, a testament to Neil Diamond's transformation from struggling songwriter to one of America's greatest entertainers. The start of a new year didn't slow Neil Diamond's momentum, earning him another round of Grammy nominations. By this time, Diamond was one of the biggest names in music. After a 3-week sold-out run at the Winter Garden Theater on Broadway in October, he decided to take a much-needed break from touring. Around the same time, his recording contract ended, and he signed a lucrative new deal with Columbia Records. His first major project under the label was composing the soundtrack for the film adaptation of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Diamond dedicated several years to the project, which paid off when the soundtrack album climbed to number 2 on the charts and earned him the 1973 Grammy Award for Best Original Score, written for a motion picture or television special. In the fall of 1974, Diamond made his musical comeback with Serenade, his first regular studio album for Columbia. The single Longfellow Serenade became a huge success, reaching number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping the adult contemporary chart. The album itself hit number 3 that December, quickly going gold and later platinum. After years of constant touring and recording, Diamond decided to take a break from the spotlight. "I knew I'd come back," he said later, "but I wasn't sure when. I'd spent 6 years on the road and felt my son needed me more than the audience did." For the next 4 years, he focused on raising his son, Jesse. By early 1976, Diamond returned to live performing, beginning with shows in California and Utah before embarking on a major tour across Australia, New Zealand, and the US. That same year, he collaborated with Robbie Robertson of The Band on a new album titled Beautiful Noise. Its lead single, If You Know What I Mean, reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, while the album itself debuted at number 4 in July 1976. That year also marked Diamond's high-profile Las Vegas debut. He was paid a record-breaking fee to perform at the newly built Theater for the Performing Arts inside the Aladdin Hotel. The concerts, held from July 2nd to July 5th, sold out all 7,500 seats each night. Celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor and Chevy Chase attended opening night, and Diamond received a thunderous standing ovation when he appeared on stage. He began the show with a humorous story about an ex-girlfriend who left him before he became famous, opening with the line, "You might have left me too early, but look at me now." In 1977, Diamond released I'm Glad You're Here With Me Tonight. Barbra Streisand recorded one of its songs, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, for her own album Songbird. When radio stations began playing their versions together as a duet, the two artists officially recorded it, and the song became a smash hit. By late 1978, it reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, giving Diamond his third chart-topping single. But 1979 brought a terrifying setback. During a concert in San Francisco, Diamond suddenly collapsed on stage. He had been experiencing numbness in his right leg but had ignored it. Doctors later discovered a tumor pressing against his spine. The 12-hour surgery to remove it was grueling, followed by a long recovery. Fearing the worst, Neil even wrote farewell letters to his friends, but he ultimately recovered fully. By the end of that year, he was back in action, preparing to star in the 1980 remake of The Jazz Singer. At the 1980 Grammy Awards, he and Streisand reunited to perform their hit duet live, thrilling the audience. Although The Jazz Singer film itself received poor reviews, partly due to Diamond's lack of acting experience, the soundtrack was a major success. Songs like Love on the Rocks and America became instant classics. While critics panned his acting, the music resonated deeply with fans. Diamond said America was particularly special to him, as it was inspired by his immigrant grandparents, a heartfelt tribute to their journey. In the following years, Diamond released 6 albums featuring covers of classic movie tunes and Brill-Building era hits. He also recorded 2 Christmas albums, one of which reached number 8 on the Billboard charts in 1992. That same year, he performed at President George H.W. Bush's Christmas celebration. By the early 1990s, Sweet Caroline, one of his early hits, found a new life as a crowd favorite at sports events. It became an anthem at Boston College games, rugby tournaments in Hong Kong, soccer matches in Northern Ireland, and later at Sydney Swans games in Australia. Most notably, it became forever associated with the Boston Red Sox, earning the title of Red Sox Nation's Anthem. The early 90s brought personal challenges, too. In 1994, Diamond's marriage came to an end. Yet his music continued to inspire especially America, which was played during several defining moments in U.S. history, including the return of the Iran hostages, the Statue of Liberty's 100th anniversary, and ceremonies honoring Martin Luther King Jr. and Vietnam veterans. A national poll even found that America was more recognized than God Bless America. After the tragic events of September 11, 2001, Diamond performed a special version of America with updated lyrics, Stand Up for America, as a patriotic tribute. He also sang it at the request of Muhammad Ali and at numerous major events over the years. Although his commercial popularity dipped in the late 1980s and 1990s, Neil Diamond never stopped performing. By the end of the 90s, he was once again filling arenas, helped by the revival of Sweet Caroline, which had transformed into one of the most beloved sing-along songs in sports and music history. Neil Diamond's album sales began to slow during the 1980s and 1990s, but his reputation as a live performer only grew stronger. Even though his last Billboard chart hit came in 1986, his concerts continued to sell out, making him the highest-grossing solo artist of that year, according to Billboard. That same year, he released his 17th studio album, Headed for the Future, which reached number 20 on the Billboard 200 chart. Around this time, Diamond made his first television appearance in 9 years with the special Hello Again, featuring comedy sketches and performances alongside Carol Burnett. In the years that followed, Diamond earned renewed critical respect with a pair of stripped-down introspective albums. His 2005 album 12 Songs, produced by Rick Rubin, marked a creative rebirth. The album was released in 2 versions, a standard 12-track edition, and a deluxe version featuring 2 bonus songs. One of them a collaboration with Beach Boys legend Brian Wilson. 12 Songs debuted at number 4 on the Billboard chart and was praised for its raw honesty. Interestingly, it also became one of the final Sony BMG albums to use the controversial extended copy protection software. Diamond's next collaboration with Rubin, Home Before Dark, 2008, was written while he was dealing with severe back pain. The album's simplicity and emotional depth resonated with fans, solidifying his reputation as a timeless storyteller. That same year, he was inducted into the Long Island Music Hall of Fame, mentored contestants on American Idol, and premiered his new song, Pretty Amazing Grace. He also launched Neil Diamond Radio on Sirius Satellite Radio, and surprised fans with an announcement that he would perform at Boston's Fenway Park on August 23, 2008, a fitting venue for the man whose Sweet Caroline had become a beloved anthem there. In 2009, Diamond was named the Musicares Person of the Year, honored just before the 51st Annual Grammy Awards. He also performed at Boston's Independence Day celebration that same year, reaffirming his special bond with the city. Later that year, he released a Cherry Cherry Christmas, his third holiday album. The following year, Diamond released Dreams, a collection of his favorite rock covers, including a reimagined version of his own hit, I'm a Believer. He even performed Ain't No Sunshine on NBC's The Sing-Off that December. In 2011, the very best of Neil Diamond compilation was released, celebrating his most iconic studio recordings. That same year, at age 70, Diamond announced his engagement to producer Katie McNeil via Twitter. The two married in Los Angeles in 2012, in a small ceremony surrounded by family and close friends. McNeil later produced Hot August Nights, NYC, a concert documentary celebrating Diamond's legendary performances. Between 2010 and 2012, Diamond reached new milestones: induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a Kennedy Center Lifetime Achievement Award, and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He performed at several high-profile events, including the Royal Variety performance and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. In 2013, after the tragic Boston Marathon bombing, Diamond returned to Fenway Park to perform Sweet Caroline live, a powerful moment of unity and hope. He released Freedom Song the same year to raise money for charity. By 2014, he had signed with Capitol Music Group, consolidating his entire music catalog under one label. His album Melody Road, inspired by his relationship with McNeil, was released in October 2014. To promote it, Diamond gave a surprise concert at his old high school in Brooklyn and announced a world tour for 2015, which began in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and ended in Denver, Colorado. He used platforms like Twitter and Periscope to connect directly with fans, making the tour one of his most interactive experiences ever. In 2016, he released Acoustic Christmas, featuring stripped-down renditions of holiday classics, commemorated by Neil Diamond 50, the 50th anniversary collection. He also embarked on his final major concert series, the 50-year anniversary world tour, beginning in Fresno, California. But in 2018, tragedy struck. Diamond was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, forcing him to retire from touring. He quietly stepped back from the spotlight to focus on treatment. Yet, he surprised everyone later that year by performing at the Keep Memory Alive Power of Love Gala in Las Vegas. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, Diamond brought joy to millions by uploading a video of himself performing Sweet Caroline, with updated lyrics about hand-washing and social distancing. The song's enduring popularity was further cemented when it was added to the U.S. Library of Congress's National Recording Registry for its cultural significance. In February 2022, Universal Music Group acquired Diamond's entire song catalog and rights to all his recordings, including unreleased material and archival videos. Then, on June 18, 2022, he made a surprise appearance at Fenway Park once again, performing Sweet Caroline with actor Will Swenson, who portrays him in the Broadway musical A Beautiful Noise. Even as time and illness have slowed him, Neil Diamond remains a symbol of resilience, emotion, and timeless songwriting, a true American legend whose voice continues to echo through generations.